Shatnerquake by Jeff Burke. Chapter 4. Captain Kirk walked with a confident stride. The hall was filled with people worried about the blast they'd just heard and felt. Most paid Kirk little mind. A few complimented him on his costume. Kirk eyed the people and wondered what kind of world he was on, where people wore such outlandish outfits. He spied at the end of the hall someone in a red Starfleet uniform. Kirk sprinted down the hall, dodging around the convention goers. "Thank God," Kirk said, placing his hand on the man's shoulder. "I thought I was the only one stranded here." The portly man stood a foot taller than Kirk. He sneered at him. "What's the situation?" asked Kirk. "You mean the noise?" "I don't know, man. People running the con say a generator in the basement overloaded. You mind taking your hand—" "Hold on," Kirk interrupted. He pulled out his phaser, pointed across the hall. "A Klingon!" The man looked, and there was someone standing in a costume modeled after the Klingons of the original series. The Klingon saw them looking and arched a large eyebrow. He laughed and jokingly raised his plastic disruptor. "Watch out!" yelled Kirk as he raised and fired his phaser. The Klingon screamed in anguish as his body disintegrated. People all around began screaming and running to get away from the madman with a laser gun. "Come!" Kirk grabbed the Starfleet officer's shoulder. "Let's move on." Kirk started running down the hallway, and the man followed, afraid of what would happen if he did not. In the panic of phasering Jordan Mitchell's Klingon enthusiast caused, Lorene Davenport was trampled by no less than 7 overweight science fiction lovers. As she lay dying, broken bones piercing her lungs, she saw the image of William Shatner hovering above her. He looked down and smiled at her. She smiled back. He turned around and faced no one in particular. "There's a limit to the abuse the human body can sustain. Hello, I'm William Shatner. Tonight, on a special convention episode of Rescue 911, we observe the case of Lorene Davenport, left battered and broken. Will anyone arrive to help her in time?" "How does William Shatner know my name?" was Lorene's last thought. "We would like to remind you," he continued, "all the footage of this segment is real." Shatner walked from room to room in the museum, unable to find the way out of this maze himself. Each room was at least 100 feet by 100 feet, with huge doorways at either end. As he walked on, Shatner could find no hint of an exit. As he went further into the maze, the displays got stranger. At first they were mostly obsessive props and tickets for various shows and movies. Now he was coming across displays labeled William Shatner's baby teeth and William Shatner's kidney stones. The weirdest was the glass case purported to be a display of used condoms for which he was responsible. He's not sure how the convention organizers had gotten a hold of them and thought it better not to consider the implications for too long. Worse, he was now getting a crowd following him. The program was not providing enough of a disguise. There were now 20 curious fans following through the maze. If he didn't find a way out soon, the crowd was going to grow. He hurried on, hoping to find an exit or someone in charge. He went through the doorway into the next room and saw at the far end another person that had a crowd following them. The person got closer, and Shatner could see through the glass displays the blue uniform of a police officer. Shatner ran around the cases and up to the officer. "Oh, thank God He froze in mid-sentence as he stared into the face of T.J. Hooker. "It's just another one of those damn impersonators." Shatner turned to walk away when Hooker punched him in the side of the head. Shatner stumbled back and fell through a display case, hitting broken glass and used Q-tips flying. He sat in the shattered glass and held his head, a thin line of blood trickling down his temple. "What the hell's the matter with you?" Hooker grabbed Shatner by his collar. "I'm taking you down, scum." He lifted Shatner to his feet and threw him into the wall. Shatner fell to the ground and was quickly back at his feet, his drunken Shaolin street-fighting skills kicking in. After being swarmed and nearly crushed to a gooey pulp by overzealous fans of the One Weekend on Earth convention of '96, Shatner dedicated 2 hours of his day, every day, to the ancient Chinese art. It came in handy at times like these when autograph seekers did not know their place. Hooker came running forward. Shatner grabbed him by his arms and used his force to throw him headfirst into one of the display cases. Hooker crashed through and lay on the ground stunned. One of the first lessons one is taught in the martial art is that the best way not to lose a fight is to not get into one. With this in mind, Shatner took off running, a crowd of screaming, cheering fans following him. "Motherfuck, shit, said Natalie as she stomped her feet. She breathed in deeply and exhaled, attempting to calm herself down. She raised a walkie-talkie. "So you lost William Shatner?" There was a pause as static filtered through. "Yes, ma'am." "Well, fucking find him," Natalie yelled, and hung the walkie-talkie on its belt holster. She took out her cell phone and dialed Shatner's number. The screen read, "Call failed." She tried 2 more times with the same result. "Son of a bitch!" She put the phone back in her pocket. Just one more problem she did not need. She began to walk in the direction of the main entrance. If Shatner was wandering around, there was a good chance he would head there, hoping to find convention staff. This was the abso-fucking-lutely worst time for him to go missing. The guards had gathered from the prisoner. There were 3 other Campbellians loose at the convention. Unfortunately, the prisoner did not give up where they were, or what their plans were before he died from massive blood loss. The halls were fairly empty, as most of the convention-goers were attending events. There were still people milling and talking about, trading trivia. There was a slight tension in the air from the blast, and the convention staff was telling everyone it was just a generator blowing out. The story seemed to sit well with the attendees. Nobody wanted to believe that anything was actually wrong. That would mean an end to the whole fun-filled weekend that everyone had paid good money to attend. Someone grabbed Natalie's shoulder. She spun around and looked into the face of William Shatner. "Oh, thank God." The words stalled in her throat when she got a good look at him. His clothes were faded gray, his skin a sickly chalk color. "Vi aspecti simala in parge," he said in poorly spoken Esperanto. Translation, "You look like someone in charge." "What the hell?" said Natalie. This was not Shatner. He looked too young and thin, but he was a spitting image of an early Shatner. "Cayo estas loco que mai?" Translation, "What is this place? Where am I?" Natalie backed away, turned, and hurried down the hall. She looked over her shoulder and saw the Shatner look-alike babbling to some other attendee. God damn, things were getting weird. Bruce, and Bruce peered out from behind the massive cardboard cutout of Jabba the Hutt. "What the hell is he doing?" asked Bruce. The 3 Campbellians were watching what appeared to be William Shatner doing an impromptu concert for a small crowd of fans. Right now he was in the middle of his immortal rendition of Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. "I think he's singing," said Bruce. "You'd think he'd want everyone to forget about that aspect of his career," said Bruce as she sat down. The large cardboard hut blocked any chance of Shatner seeing her. "He's just looking for attention," said Bruce as he sat down next to her. "Okay, remember what we're here for," said Bruce, bringing the team back to their mission. "We wait until he finishes this number, and when the crowd is clapping, and he's taking his bows, we make our move." "Right," said Bruce in unison. The 3 conspirators waited for Shatner to finish. "I can't believe they got Bruce," said Bruce. "I don't even want to think about what they're doing to him," said Bruce. Bruce nodded grimly in agreement. They sat silent while Shatner spoke the last verse. As he began the chorus for the final time, the 3 Bruces got to their feet. They raised their right handless arm and bowed their heads in silent prayer to the almighty Bruce. As they walked out from behind the intergalactic crime lord cutout, Shatner finished his song. The gathered crowd applauded. Bruce slipped his hand into his pants pocket and slid on a set of brass knuckles. He walked briskly up to Shatner, who was too busy taking bows to notice the oncoming threat. Bruce moved to his side to provide backup and, if necessary, crowd control. Bruce did one last glance around to make sure there were none of those freaky convention guards, and then he moved in for the attack. One quick blow with the brass knuckles knocked Shatner out cold before he had any chance to react. The people in the crowd cried out as they saw their hero crumble to the ground. A brave fan made a move to try to help, but the 1-2 attack of Bruce, each of whom had their own set of brass knuckles, quickly reduced him to a bleeding, quivering heap. "Anyone else feel like a hero?" yelled Bruce as she fiercely eyed the crowd. No one was. Bruce smiled at Bruce. She looked so hot when her bloodlust got pumping. He rushed over to help Bruce with Shatner's unconscious body. The 2 began to drag the TV star down the hall, while Bruce made sure no one followed them. While she may have been under half the size of most of the convention attendees, she was crazier and fiercer than any of them. The Bruces routed a corner of the hallway and dragged the body through a maintenance door, which led to the boiler room. Bruce shortly followed them through the door. "Anybody follow?" "Nah," she said. "They're all too scared." She walked over to Shatner. "Wow, we actually got him." 3 Bruces stood around the unconscious entertainment icon. They looked down in amazement. They'd actually managed to get the great Satan himself. "Okay," said Bruce, "start unpacking the boxes. Let's not waste our opportunity here. I admire your determination, but I do believe you've made a mistake." The Campbellians jumped and spun around. Standing in the doorway was another William Shatner. "Who the hell are you?" said Bruce. "I'm Denny Crane, greatest lawyer in the world."